Hey everyone, a new adventure for us today. We are going to head up the Nevis Road, which is a big long four-wheel drive track that takes you into some old history of New Zealand where they used to gold mine. Pretty remote and isolated place, which is right up our alley. It's all four-wheel drive though. There's 27 river crossings, which makes me a little bit nervous. I'm not really that much of a four-wheel driver, and I also just really want to look after our truck. But it looks like a beautiful place, nice and wild. So we're about to hop on the truck and get on up there. So I'm Mike, and I love hearing about the old days, especially in remote and isolated places. Life without electricity and plumbing and cold winters, the hardships, the struggles and the rawness of living in the old days fascinates me. So getting to go into places like the Nevis Valley is so up my alley, where once a thriving community existed. But like one of the plaques read, quoted from 1865, Nevis is so isolated and remote from every centre of population that it is just beginning to be discovered. This cold, sequestered and icebound region, hemmed in on all sides except where it opens to the Kawerau, will probably never attract a large population, but it will be a storehouse of wealth to the hardy adventurers who are prepared to brave its inclement weather. Now, we've tried to get ourselves into some hearty situations with our caravan over the years as our families adventured full time, but we definitely have our comforts of a nice bed and heating. But how incredible to gain a glimpse into these places and imagine life 150 years ago. So let's get into it. If you saw our friends Rob and Jazz and Hannah Marie, they're coming along with us as well, which is nice to have another four-wheel drive vehicle just in case. So if you're wondering where on earth is this Nevis Road, if you start at Bannockburn, you follow through the Nevis Valley and River and exit at Garston, you're kind of on the other side of the remarkable mountains in Queenstown. A quick fill up with diesel because we got some driving to do today, and then we were on our way to the start of the trail. Going to air down the tyres, give us a bit more suspension, and helps the road to not get as corrugated if you can be a bit softer on the road. There's Frank. You already get an idea of what kind of terrain we're going to be up in. It's going to be pretty magic up there.
I won't ever be the same from you. I'll remember all the nights and the better days. Forgot the rest. Well, I thought I'd fill my calendar and busy up my days, take up a running so I'd have less time remembering your name. Wish I could say I'm over you.
Pretty windy and it's friggin' cold up here, tell you what. It's not a warm day for the end of January. Toby, what can you see?
I don't know.
How's that, kids?
Good. Freezing. Cold. Ice cold.
Yeah, that wind's pretty chilly out there. We've climbed up over 1,000 meters so far. It's been pretty good. With all the gates, there's no gates actually. They're all just cattle stops, so no needing to stop to go over these. So this is the Duffers saddle, which is, I think, the highest point. It might not be quite the highest point, but this is the back of the Remarkables over here. So the Remarkables are pretty stunning major landscape feature in Queenstown. They look very different from this side, that's for sure. We can see that we were in for a pretty big descent down into the Nevis Valley, where we caught a biker having a rest, but he took off before we would pass him so that he didn't get stuck in all the dust that we were creating. He was flying, we didn't even catch up to him. But the Central Otago rocks create such a unique landscape in New Zealand with their rugged shapes. Incredible that people are still living and farming and working in this remote valley, but there's more relics and debris across the valley showing where people once lived. I almost missed it. Our friends luckily beat the horn. We've pulled over and we're going to go and check out that Nevis tree, or the Nevis tree. Can imagine that it would be pretty awesome here with some snow on the mountains in the middle of winter and this being nice and flat, but today is not really that amazing, is it? So that Nevis tree does look nice when the water's still. It's also a feature on Google Maps. A lot hotter down here in the valley. It's crazy to me that people are still living and farming in the middle of here. It'd take a long time to go get your groceries. I wonder if they just got a helicopter and helicopter over to Queenstown, since the Remarkables are just over the hill here, but it's so isolated. It's kind of like going out that Walter Peak Station Road, but this has got no native forestry in it. It's kind of mind-blowing how much empty space there is in this huge valley. In these remote places, it can be really interesting to check out the old cemeteries. This cemetery didn't have too many stories to tell, but there's a monument to recognise those that lost their lives in this area in the 1800s, and then a few graves of those who died more recently but felt at home in this area, which I think is pretty cool. And just a kilometre or so from the cemetery is the lower Nevis settlement, which really ends the quality part of the road. You can drive to here year round, but from here the road to Garston closes over winter. And if you're really game, you can also tow a caravan or a motorhome out to this point and camp. I'd imagine you'd be pretty sweet to drive out to here in a two-wheel drive with good weather. There's some good information about the old village here at the lower Nevis as well. So we're just going to park up, have a bit of lunch. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon and we're all getting a bit hungry. And there's this nice little sheltered spot out of the wind. The wind's quite strong today. From here is where the drive gets exciting, with endless water crossings and some technical sections that you'd want four-wheel drive for, but many of the fords that you cross offer an easy route and a hard or deeper track through. This was filmed in late January, so water levels were pretty low.
Go on, let the waves crash on over.
history up this road. If we stopped to show you everything, we'd be here for a week, I think. But this one's pretty cool. Couple of fireplaces. It shows how cold it would have been. It feels like we're in one of those movies about the old days where people lived out on these huge farms and you'd likely not see anyone for months at a time. But these people were on the hunt for gold, and likely there were plenty of people in here digging and panning. Pretty amazing, eh? Like, we can come and do one of these tracks in like a day. Imagine before motor vehicles, you were like on foot or on horse. It would have just taken so long. That isolation, that feeling of isolation would have been pretty extreme. As we got further up the valley, the river got smaller, but the fords seemed to get a little bit deeper. But also, if you're a person that's familiar with this area, I would love to hear a bit more about it. Please drop us a comment and tell us some stories with some more information. We've walked a few of the riverbeds and they've all been pretty like stony and very, very firm underfoot, so that's good. It's not really much mud, which makes it pretty easy to get across them without having to get stressed about getting stuck. By this point we were thinking, surely we must have done all the fords by now, but no, they just keep coming. Once we finally arrived at the saddle on the Hector mountain range, which would take us down to the main road, we just had the most amazing views looking back to civilization as we drove across the mountain tops. About 1100 metres high now. I think our downhill road is over this way. Got a pretty awesome view out to the Alps, out to the Southern Alps here. Amazing. There must be our road back down into Kingston. Just pulled into the old historic Garston ski field hut. We'll go and have a look at it, eh? Show you inside. Huh?
It says do not graffiti this hut.
Too late. You must still be able to stay here. There's a dock hut book there for intentions. It's a pretty historic hut, alright. This floor, she's sinking big time. After we'd had a look around in the hut, we bumped into a subscriber from Kingston who does photo shoot tours. Hey mate! And then our mate Rob headed off before us, and then disaster struck.
No, a massive flat tyre.
Oh no.
the whole thing off the victim of the Nevis.
Alright, Rob's making progress on the tyre here. Found the little contraption to lower it, was here. Spare tyre's off.
We're going up now.
Of all the places this could have happened, it was on the well-groomed gravel road out. But it took us a while to figure out how to get that spare tyre down after nearly busting muscles wrenching the bolts underneath. But we found the problem with the tyre. It's always stressful when a tyre pops, but we're there. Shot, Rob, well done. And then closing the gate on a huge chunk of history. A trip back in time. What an adventure. That was such a fun day going out on the Nevis Road. Definitely a great beginner's four-wheel drive session. I'm not much of an experienced four-wheel driver, but it was a piece of cake in these conditions anyway. It is the end of January today, so rivers are pretty dry and pretty low. That was a lot of fun. All right, we're going out for dinner now. It's 5 o'clock. It's taken us all day. We left at 10:15 this morning on the trail, and now it is 5 p.m, so great day. Such a different feeling being back on the tar seal after nearly 7 hours on the gravel. What a cool day out with mates and a delicious dinner to finish it off with. We'll see you in our next adventure.